talking about. Is that something that exists?
You mean kind of like a key index field that?
Yeah, just anything that where like you can just mention, of course, as opposed to saying the name of the parts, you just mention a number and everybody knows, like that's within your supply chain knows, okay, this part means this, regardless of.
So two major divisions that happen there. One is we do something called stock listing, which is tied to the national stock number, right? And that falls down from the Title 10 responsibility that any item of supply can only be owned by one item. I also have parts that are managed by part number and page. So in that case, program office and the vendor know this thing is not going to be stock listed. There's lots of good reasons for it. And they're going to know that that particular combination is there. What I'm looking at is that the vendor has delivered that data already to the government. They already have a common understanding of what it is that is defined in that CPL document, which includes the data item description that describes how it's supposed to be in there. And so they have a common understanding of what was delivered and what was received for anything that is part of the page managed. Then when it gets stock listed and it gets an MSN assigned to it, then you get another identifier if we go through that process that speaks to it where anybody knows what it is. You could get a copy of FedLog, which is the offline version of the FLIS, the Federal Logistics Information Center, download it right from DLA's website, and you can go in and pop in stock numbers all day in SNs, and it'll tell you what they are. It keeps some of the data fields from you because some of that is considered CUI data, but for the most part, if you have a stock number, you want to know what that thing is, it'll tell you what the item is, it'll tell you when it was stock listed, it'll tell you size, the shape, how much it weighs. It'll give you some indicative data at the bottom, it's in plain text. It'll tell you who are all the manufacturers that it could be. It'll tell you if there's an interchangeability and suitability, meaning this part can be swapped with this part, not for that one. It's got it in. There's all sorts of great information that goes in. But that is at the end of the provisioning. Go from provisioning when we get all that data. And then as she was saying, it goes to Battle Creek to DLA. And they go and they look at it and say, have I ever seen you before? That's one of the reasons we get the engineering data for provisioning. This is a little off topic. I love education. Engineering data for provisioning is so they can take the drawing that you received and look at the drawing they have on file and go, I think that's the same thing. If it is, and they think it's a match, they call out to the first person that ever did it, and they said, hey, I got this drawing. Got the same as yours? If that guy says yes, then they add it to that same spot. So there's a whole bunch of rules that go along with it. It's all in the Defense Logistic Management publications, balance publications that come out. DLA manages them and says how all those codes, those exchanges, how the data flows, all the items work. But that is all. I'm done with provisioning. I started a capability called cataloging, which is transitioning that data into a stock listing. That goes to DLA Battle Creek. It's a bunch of ladies sitting in a room that do this all day, and they start assigning stock numbers. So I wish it was different. That's actually how it works.
So Mike, if we have something that might meet your need, or do you want to explore further as far as your specific requirements, what is the typical next step? We've never worked with the Air Force before, so I'm just trying to get a sense of.
So the next step is you should talk to me today. I won't be around for it, right? Quite often I'm here until Jim said we got to close the joint down. Then we go across the parking lot. If you're not opposed to that. If you are, I'll stand outside. It's hot. Whatever. Have a discussion with me. If you have a card, give me your card. For all of you, my email is michael.hoover.17. I am 17, so I need to remember my name is on the presentation. michael.hoover.17@us.af.mil. If we talk today, you have a much better chance of me remembering who you are and returning your email. So if you want to give us a holler, right? Let's have a discussion about what you think you might be able to offer. We'll get some information